Hello, everyone. Welcome into another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, Dan Hafner joining you here this morning. It is finally Friday, and we are also in the last topic of the week inside of the theme of acceptance. Today's topic is the following: accepting success and failure. As always, thank you for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, everybody, are you ready? Here we go. So, I'm going to talk about two different aspects of the show today. The first part is going to talk about accepting success, and then I'm going to get into the bad part, and we're going to talk about accepting failure. The best part is accepting failure is the best part. So, I'm going to close with that part. So, part number one, accepting success. Sometimes it can be hard to accept success, right? To actually get to a point where you are succeeding and then realize, oh, wow, I've actually made it. I've been striving and failing and trying and failing some more, and I actually achieved success, right? And it's hard to accept that sometimes because often in life, those moments can be so rare that it's like, oh, wow, that I've actually got what I wanted. I actually, after all this toil and all this sweat, have finally achieved what I set out to. It's rare. And I mean, if you're achieving success more often than that, you're probably not setting your goals high enough, right? So there's this aspect of actually reaching a milestone that you kind of face a little bit of confusion, right? If you're doing it right, because you've gotten to this point where you should have a clear target for success, right? So when you achieve something, you should know that you achieved it. I hit X target and this is what I was shooting for, and I, black and white, no doubt, achieved this goal. There's no room for maybes, right? But even in that, like when you're clear that you achieved it, there still can be this element of confusion, right? Because the world doesn't stop. You know, it's not like the movies where the crescendo of the melody comes along and da 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 and boom, and like, no, like life goes on, right? There's always an afterwards to the climax of a movie or the climax of a goal that you're chasing, right? So it's kind of like, okay, now what do I do? Did I actually just do what I set out to do? Was it enough? Was that too easy? You know? So there's this part that comes along where learning to accept the fact that you actually succeeded in doing what you're doing, whether it was a big goal or a small goal, a daily goal or a yearly goal. That's a big deal. Getting to a point where you can accept, like, hey, you know what? I succeeded. I deserve this credit. I pushed through what I needed to push through. And you know what? I did it. And that can be a lot easier said than done. I myself am guilty of this. Like, I am very notorious, I know, for not giving myself enough credit for successes that I have, even on a daily basis. I really need to improve on that. I know I've gotten better at it, but you're just always on to the next thing, right? It's always on to the next thing, always on to the next thing. And if we started to get better at, collectively, if we started to get better at being like, you know what, I succeeded at this, good for me. I think it would really improve our happiness and our fulfillment in a lot of areas, right? So moving on to the second part, I want to talk about accepting failure, which kind of, bleeds into this accepting success factor. And accepting failure is a whole different ballgame, right? We all fail. We all run into roadblocks. We all screw stuff up. We all make mistakes. We all just struggle. It's just part of it. And if you think you're immune to that, you're not. Sorry to break it to you. So, what we need to learn to accept is the fact that we are going to fail. You're going to fail 99% of the time. You're probably only going to succeed 1% of the time, or even less, right? Like, that's the way that striving for goals and getting better works. Like, you're failing a lot of the time, whether you're in sales or whether you're in a in a fitness routine, whatever you're trying to do. Like, you're probably gonna fail. I shouldn't say probably. You are going to fail more often than you're going to succeed. So you need to accept this fact that that's just how growth occurs, and then you need to accept the reality that is the process. There is a palace of pleasure that you are going to at some point in your life. There is a palace of pleasure there, but it is only on the other side of this valley and pit and just grossness of pain and failure and misery. And it sounds backwards. It sounds like, well, who would want to go through all of that just to get to a goal? Well, sometimes if the goal's big enough, you're going to go through pain. You're going to go through failure. It's going to suck. You're going to hate it. You're going to want to quit. You're going to wonder why you started in the first place. If your goal is big and scary enough, you're going to experience these things. And the quicker you can accept that this will just be part of the process, the better off you will be. I've been down this road hundreds and hundreds of times, and that's not an exaggeration. I have been down this road many, many, many times, and I have learned this throughout my life that there's so many cliches you can use. Nothing in life is worth it, is easy. Basically that sums them all up. If you're working for something and it's not hard work, it's not worth it. It doesn't feel like you earned it. It just doesn't feel like you won. You didn't do it. You didn't give it enough. And we all want that pat on the back. We all want to just feel good about small victories. But if you're not satisfied even with those small victories, then you're cut out for bigger goals. So in summary, this acceptance of failure in itself is preparing you to accept success one day. This accepting, okay, I failed. Let me try this. Okay, I failed. Let me tweak this. Okay, I failed. And just keep accepting the fact that you're going to keep failing. And then when you finally hit success after all these consecutive failures, you're finally in a position only through going through those failures to say, hey, you know what? I succeeded. I did it. I did it. I reached the top. So these both bleed into each other and they feed off each other, and it's just one big, awesome circle. And it's exhausting. It can be very exhausting. I get it. I go through it every single day, just like a lot of you out there. So my challenge for you today is twofold, okay? I want you to think about Where in your life are you needing to improve on accepting success, accepting the fact that you have succeeded and giving yourself credit? And then the second part, it can be related or unrelated, is where in your life do you need to start accepting failure more often? Accept the fact that you're failing. Accept the fact that you're repeatedly not doing what you need to be doing, and being okay with that, and taking those failures as learning opportunities in order to move forward and get better and get what you want. So that's my challenge for you, twofold here. As always, check out our Run Your Day Facebook page. Go into Facebook, type in the search bar, Run Your Day, 3 words, all capitalized. Check out the page and comment below your challenge responses to today's post, episode 73, Accepting Success and Failure. Would love to. The community would love to see your responses to these challenges. It's a personal share, and I understand if you don't want to share these, with the broader community, but it really does help. It's really therapeutic. It's awesome, and you never know who out there could use the words that you said that might just read your comment, and it might change their entire day and their perspective on something. You just never, ever know. So that's going to wrap up the show and the week for the Run Your Day podcast. As always, I appreciate you guys listening in. And don't forget, live episodes tomorrow, Saturday morning, bright and early. Going to be awesome. Check out the Run Your Day Facebook page, live broadcast. It's only where it's going to be. It's not going to be on audio version. And we're going to have one on Sunday morning as well. It starts your weekend out great. It gets you fired up. And it's just a time to hang out with me. We talk about more and different themes. And if you didn't check them out last week, I highly encourage you to join in this week. Follow our page, like the the Run Your Day page, and you'll be notified when I go live inside of there. I can even bring someone in and we can discuss some of our topics and start just absolutely making your weekend days much more focused, much more productive, and much more awesome. So, as always, appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week inside of here, and I will see you live tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.